All right, this is episode 1 of what we're going to call Suit the Shit. A raw, unfiltered, no edited video segment of me talking about a topic on my way to work. I have about a 10 to 12 minute drive to work, so it's about a 10-minute video, and we're going to cover all different topics, world events, different things that are just top of mind for me, and we're calling it Suit the Shit because I'm wearing a suit on the way to work. So, this week, I want to talk about the idea, and not even the idea, testosterone. Testosterone is such an interesting chemical compound because it has so many benefits, but it's also so interesting because it's something that you can kind of manipulate. Testosterone is the main chemical within men that produces, energy, focus, attention, productivity. It's a very interesting. It's what makes men manly, and it's something that's found in women as well, but in less doses. It connects to erectile dysfunction, workouts, how much your muscle you produce, not produce, but builds. It relates to so many different parts of your life that it is a pretty significant thing. And it's like, when you think of a high testosterone man, you think of somebody that's like, a fighter, always, kind of like, bulky type of dude. And it's interesting because nowadays in society, testosterone is more or less frowned upon. If you're too heavy on the testosterone, people are like, oh, you need to cut that out. You need to relax. You need to tame down a little bit. But then if we think back to society, I don't know, couple hundred years ago, it's like testosterone was everywhere. Testosterone was flowing. I'm thinking about like the 20th century. People with high testosterone, or like, people were just had higher testosterone, I feel like. And the question I come to is like, what happened? Where did we lose this, fuel, this fire? People hop on TRT, testosterone replacement therapy, because when they get old, it makes sense. You want to get your testosterone back. You want to get your libido up. You want to just build muscle. You want to look better. It's just something that you can use to manipulate your body into a beneficial way. Obviously, there are side effects and negative, things to it, but still, nonetheless, it's something that people do. And I'm just curious, like, why is it that testosterone started to be seen as a bad thing? You think of toxic masculinity, and people complain about that, but not all testosterone leads to toxic masculinity. The thing that happens when you reduce testosterone is that people become more complacent. You're more likely to be comfortable, to follow orders, to do things and not question them. And when you look into today's society, it makes sense. There are so many screwed up things and uneven and just awful things happening that I feel like if you had a nation full of high testosterone men, they would riot. We went to a revolution and fought a war because they taxed tea. Now they take away 40% of your paycheck and you smile and are happy about it. It's like, obviously, it's different. Like, it's not different, honestly. People back then unionized, and fought back to get what they thought was rightfully theirs. Now, people just sit back and complain about it. The people that are smart and wealthy enough find a loophole or a way about doing this so they don't have to pay taxes. But the majority, the main, middle class and just average Joe follows orders. They follow it. They don't complain. They do complain, but they don't do anything about it, which is kind of crazy. And it doesn't just stay at that. I think that it relates. My alarm went off, so we're gonna keep it going. I was like, what the hell happened? But we're gonna come back. I think, and I know that it relates to other things in life as well. Things such as, watching TV, not going for your goals, being complacent in your job or your relationship or your situation. People don't want to strive for more and reach for more, because why should they? They're comfortable. Everything's great. They're not happy, but they're happy enough to where they don't want to change. And it's like the effort they would have to put in to make that change would make them uncomfortable. So they'd rather stay in the situation they're at right now. And with that, it's like, it's a pretty scary hole, because once you start diving into that hole and going into this and becoming comfortable, it's like, why do anything? You kind of fall into a rhythm, and that leads to mediocrity. I feel like it leads to unfulfillment. I feel like one of the biggest things that we see nowadays is people asking, like, what should I do with my life? What is my life's purpose? What is my life's goal? Am I striving? Am I reaching for more? Am I reaching my life's purpose is a better way to say it. And a lot of people have concerns about that, but then they don't look at the reasons why they might feel this way. You look at factors like social media addiction, porn addiction, alcohol addiction, substance abuse, all these different things I'm not saying that they necessarily do stem from a lower testosterone, but they can impact this. They can reduce your testosterone, which will in turn reduce your internal motivation and fire to do things, which will then cause you to feel bad about yourself, not reach your life's potential, not reach your fulfilled, your true potential. And then 15, 20, 30, 40 years down the line, you'll be sitting, staring back and thinking, where did I go wrong? What happened? And it's sad to see that, people in my generation, people in the generation before me are already falling into this. They feel like they've lost. They feel like they, fell apart. Things didn't go their way. And now, they're not at the position they wish they were. And if you look back, there can be plenty of reasons: economic reasons, social reasons, political, relationship reasons. But those are all things that are external factors. Life is impacted by external factors, but the reality is that you control the majority of it. You hold this destiny and hold the power to control your destiny. So it it primarily falls back onto you. What are you doing with your time? What are you doing to make yourself a better fit, to make yourself someone that is eligible and qualified and this great person? And something that comes back to is testosterone. How does this testosterone level impact you? What kind of person are you? Are you somebody that is finding this fire, that is fighting and working to become better? Or are you somebody that bends over backwards for others? Are you somebody that doesn't argue, doesn't fight, doesn't, strive for greatness? And you can always come back to this point.